so much for joining me for Chronicles in Collecting, where I'm going to unbox the metal build EVA-02 production model EVA 2020 version from Neon Genesis Evangelion. This figure was a premium Bandai exclusive and came out in December 2020 for $250 US. So one of my very early videos was one of the EVA units from Metal Build. I don't normally buy a lot of Metal Build stuff. I think it's very nice, but I kind of like all of my Gundams to be of the same size, and obviously the Metal Builds are a slightly different scale than the, well, they're definitely different scale than the Robot Spirits, and there's a lot more variety in Robot Spirits, so that's why I don't really buy too much of them. That's not to say that I have anything against Metal Build. I really like the stuff that I've seen. So let's take a look at this figure. So this is the EVA 2022 version, I think, which is supposed to be colored a little slightly differently. I don't know if it's worth the premium. They've reprinted the regular version a bunch of times. I think this has some like slightly more metallic parts, but I mean this figure's great. I mean, these Metal Build EVA stuff are awesome. Look at all these. I mean, just look at the detailing on there. It's beautiful. Look at the just all the details, all the different colors, the markings, the symbols. It looks great. It just looks great. Posability I'm sure is going to be awesome as well. Yeah, so I'd say first initial impressions of this figure are very positive. And curious to kind of get into some of the. Let's actually put this back so it doesn't fall over and get damaged. Look at some of the parts. So nothing super exciting here. These are just the support holes for attaching it to the base. I'm not going to get into all of those. I don't think we need to look at that. If there's any questions, you can ask about it in the comments. So here's the actual base, and it looks to be the same as the other one. It doesn't have anything that kind of specifies it's the EVA 2 unit, but I think that's fine. And then here's some more stuff for just sort of building up the base. There's just so many little parts here. I think these are, again, just for building up for the base. These, I believe, are probably like ammo packs or some sort of accoutrement for the figure itself. I don't know what this thing is, but it looks cool. I think this is an adapter for attaching the weapons to the figure. And I think this is the same. So not actually a ton of weapons here, and it doesn't. I mean, it does have this like super long rifle, which is cool. I mean, it doesn't have like the giant, really cool swords like the other one did, but still really nice. So yeah, here's like this. Oh no! Oops! I thought this was a giant rifle. It's actually just the power cord to connect the EVA to its base. This weapon's pretty nice. You got some nice markings here, different colors. The blade's a nice color, so that's cool. Let's see. These things are sweet. I don't know exactly what they are, but I really like them. This is some sort of like visor or something. Maybe it's for the ankles. A little unclear to me. And I think that these are mostly plastic. Obviously the figure has a lot of metal, but the weapons itself are plastic, which I'm sure probably helps. I don't know what this is. I hope it didn't break. Probably help. Oh no, that just fell out over there. Helps with the balancing. Got a couple of knives. They're, as far as I can tell, both the same. But again, nice detailing on the knives. Quality control on this one is really impeccable. Much nicer than what we get with the Robot Spirits, which seems like they're just sort of slapped together. But I guess when you're paying this much, Bandai can actually be bothered to making sure that things look good. You got holsters for the blades here. Got an extra clip for the gun. Bunch of different hands Hands all look pretty cool. And there's like one other, I don't know if it's if it's like a musket or a knife. There's two of them, and I believe, no, this blade does not retract, but there is a second one that is retracted. You can't actually move them itself, but you could have whichever one you want for your pose. Anyway, so I'm going to take a look at this guy. I'll pose him, try to find something cool to do, and I'll be back in a few minutes with some final thoughts. Alright, and we are back, so let's get this guy on the rotating stand and we'll give some final thoughts here, if I can get to it without knocking everything over, which I'm not super confident that I will be able to do. So yeah, like I said kind of during the unboxing, it's a great figure, the detailing's great. There is a lot of posability, but I feel like you really gotta work for it. It's one of these like whack-a-mole figures where it's like you get the arm in the right place, and then you move the leg, and then the arm moves, and then you get the leg in the right place, and then the shoulder moves, you get the shoulder in the right place, and the head moves. At one point, the entire arm was out of the socket, the shoulder was out of the socket. I was like trying to repair this thing. I didn't really do any, damage to it, maybe a scuff, or a scratch here or there, but, I'm really happy with the final product, but I'm not as thrilled with the journey that it took me to get there. But I think as long as you have some patience, it'll be fine. And if you've had any of the other EVA metal builds, I mean, it's basically just the same thing, slightly different color. There's not a ton of weapons with this one, and I feel like there's not as many of the like super cool, like iconic weapons, like with the other one that I've unboxed. But there is an option part set that I'll be looking at later this week, so maybe that'll have something exciting in there. And I've brought it up in the past, but the one thing I do love about these metal build EVAs is that they have the articulation at the toe, which I think just really allows for some like super cool dynamic poses by being able to kind of have the foot and the toe in different positions. As far as all these weapons, it kind of has this like modular system where you can attach them all sorts of places. So I happen to have them, on the kind of left side, but you could attach them to this. You could have the EVA strapped into that with like handcuff, or like wrist cuffs on there. Like I said, it has the kind of umbilical cord, power cord thing that you could plug in. It was getting a little tight over here, so I didn't know if I was going to have quite enough room for it. And the base just has lots of different pegs and spots, so you could put things in different places, and you can kind of build different portions of the base if you just want to have the if you just want to have the pole, if you don't want to have the pole, whatever you want. So it's very modular and kind of lets you do sort of whatever it is that you want to do. So that I think that's good as well. But I do like that mostly you can put everything on it just as is, because I kind of not like having extra parts kept in the box, so that does typically happen. Anyway, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate a like or subscribe, and if you didn't, tell me about it in the comments. I do figure reviews on Tuesdays and Fridays, and anime reviews on Thursdays, so check those out. If there's something else you want to see with this figure or something else, let me know in the comments, and I will see what I could do. Thanks so much, and keep collecting.